Hello, and welcome to the Lion's Den After Dark. We are back with another recap of Summer House Martha's Vineyard episode 2. So tonight I have with me um, one of my close friends, special guest, Drea. She's
Hello.
joining me tonight. So we're going to get into it. Of course, we have to go over the house den rules. So again, we are talking and recapping on characters on the show. We do not know these people, so we are only giving our opinions based on the show. Also, while we watch the show, bring your favorite sippy cups, your favorite drinks, whatever they want to look like. We want to have a good time. And a new rule to the show is for my guest, if you're feeling shady, put on your favorite shades to let us know. All right. Are you ready to get into some shade?
Right.
Okay. Episode 2, I would say really like so far this season is really go like starting off pretty strong. Last episode we're starting to see more of the personalities from characters like Summer, and Nick and Alex. We're starting to explore that a little bit more, and get a little bit more backstory. This episode, we got some backstory on Jordan when it comes to alopecia. So we first start off with the cast getting ready for the decades party. And this was a party or house party where everyone was dressed up as different decades. And we'll get into a little later what that looked like. Starting up the conversation, we see that a group of them, I believe it was Preston, Jordan, and Summer, were talking about Nick. Now, last week, we were all wondering, was him and his girlfriend still together? And it seems to also be something like that's still a question if they're still together, because they're saying Nick is very handsy, and especially when he has alcohol. So we see that conversation, and then we also find out that Simone and Bria are still together. So, with last season, they had a very a dramatic relationship, and we all know Bria to be very dramatic. So, yeah, viewers in the comments, let me know, are you guys surprised that they're still together? I'm very interested to see people's thoughts around that. But they are still together. Um then we also had Summer still like on the case of if Jasmine is pregnant. Um and so we had those brief little conversations. Then we had like a montage of Nick and his chuckles when he drinks a lot. Um and so we start to kind of see that storyline. The biggest part that we get to in the meat of of the episode, right, is where we then see how Nick felt about the situation with Summer. So Alex has a conversation with Amir and Nick about like, hey, how did things go with Summer when she brought up the situation? And so here we see like how Nick felt about it, and why he had to say about Summer and her comment that she made letting everybody know about their business. So Drea, how did you feel about that conversation?
I okay. For backstory, it's my first time really seeing all these characters like for myself. I had backstory about the show, about each character, about everything that happened, like I was watching it myself, but it was my first time actually experiencing um how they are. And I felt like even though it was my first time, it seemed like it was a lot of people's first time experiencing how they were, like personality wise, within this show. So
Mhm.
with that whole Alex, Nick, Amir conversation, I
Yeah. Cause
Nick,
he, yeah.
yeah, he. I don't even know what to say about him. It's the way that conversation went was not how I was expecting at all. Um, Amir and Alex, like, they were genuinely trying to have a conversation about what was said at the table, but then Nick kind of went somewhere that like was kind of odd. Like it was like kind of misplaced. Everyone in the room, like even Amir and Alex, kind of looked like what? Like is
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I think that's how Alex felt like for sure, especially with Summer in making that comment when she said like, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't invite me to this event with someone who's been inside of you." That had already shaken everybody up.
yeah,
So,
very
it
interesting.
was an interesting conversation to see that like when Amir brought it to like and had a conversation with Alex and Nick and pretty much Amir pretty kind of said what we were all thinking, right? About
Mhm.
like um she clearly has more feelings for you
Clear.
because why did she say that? Why was it made into a big deal? And also wanted to just get an understanding as to Alex, was this a real like relationship? What's going on? Like, why do you still even like her? Um, and then that's when Alex shared, there were certain things I felt like were he was suspicious about. Like where where Summer sent a picture to Jordan
Oh
of
yeah,
Alex.
Alex.
How
Just
did you feel about that? Like, if somebody did that to you, or like, what would you do in that situation? Like, would you find it weird as well?
I personally would find it weird, especially if like you and I both know it's not like that. But like it looks like from my standpoint of how he felt about it and how it was like expressed, like that nobody would think that they were just friends hanging out.
Hmm.
So with that being said, us having the understanding that this is not anything serious, like it's not nothing that like we're like actually like it's just for fun or it's just for convenience, but then you take a picture and send it to one of our friends, like that's just wow.
Right. Like, this grown folks' business. It's kind of like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of messy.
yeah, it's really messy. And honestly, throughout the episode, we're starting to see where we're seeing that a little bit more from Summer.
Yeah.
And I know as a viewer from season one, it was kind of surprising because I actually did like Summer, but we're starting to see a whole different perspective from her. So in this conversation, Nick says, "Well, would you rebeat?" Which I feel like is a wild thing to say.
To,
Like,
yeah, and
I
to
was
even
like,
ask really, especially if that's supposed to be both of your like genuine friend or like someone you became friends with through a mutual friend, like to even ask that question, especially the way Nick made it seem like him, Summer, and Jordan were just so close, like so
mhm,
comfortable with each other. But then to ask Alex that about his friend, someone he's so close with, it's kind of like,
yeah,
wow,
it
that's
was
a
a little wild. It was
yeah.
a little wild. I was like, rebeat is crazy. Like, there's
He
so
was
many other things you could say. Yeah. So we finally get to the decades party. Jasmine came as a 1950s housewife.
Oh,
I just don't understand why, and I'm pausing here because it's getting me, the like shady moments that I guess is her responding to what was said online, but like,
it's,
girl,
but
they
it's
made you
yeah, it
look
just
bad.
proves, yeah, it just plays into what people already said. So it was kind of like, and like Amir said, you dressed up as you are. So it's kind of like that did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm just like, Jasmine, it's not funny. I get it. Like, you're trying to be the butt end of your own, like the jokes and what people said, but it's like literally not funny. It made you look bad. Like, it just didn't. I'm not understanding that. But then we get Summer, who is from the 1970s. We get Nick, who was Arthur Ashe. Did you know who Arthur Ashe was?
No, but I thought he was just dressed as himself. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I mean, yeah, it definitely was giving. I just showed
He
up like
looked,
this.
yeah, it looked like, you know how people like you have a Halloween party, but not everybody like wants to dress up. He was the one that didn't want to dress up.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I just didn't know. I'm so sorry. But
I didn't
hey,
know either. It's okay.
you know, Bria dressed up is the 2000s. I guess she was J Lo, did her little rap session. I don't know why there was a rap session because J Lo didn't rap, but hey. Um, Amir said
Why?
he was Nick.
Why J Lo? Of all the people in the '90s,
Oh,
you could have picked.
shade
Why?
alert.
Why? What was the reason? And I'm genuinely asking. Like, I cannot comprehend the like when she said '90s. I was like, oh, okay, J Lo.
Yeah, I was, yeah. And
No,
it really looked nothing
like
like J Lo.
that's one thing. If she didn't say that she was supposed to be J Lo,
I would have never known at
and it
all.
was '90s enough to even like give. But you know what?
And rapped, which was wild. Like, anyway. So Amir was Nick, Jordan was Josephina Baker. Okay, it was cute. I got it. And
Yeah,
Noelle was 60s attire. I'm curious. Who was your favorite best dress? Like, who did you think did the best dress? Because I believe they awarded it to didn't Jordan? I'm not really quite sure. Y'all let me know. Um, oh no, Jordan was a grandma. So someone like who else was somebody else was Josephina Baker, and I can't quite remember. But who am I missing? No, Shanice. Oh, and then we have Shanice. Shanice is a question mark. We don't know, but in that moment, there were already leading up to what was one of the major conflicts of the episode, where we don't really like don't
Nowhere.
know what she was dressed like. I think it was supposed
Oh,
to be 2000s, but then we started getting comments where they were calling her working girl and
uh,
yeah, like she
and
was black exploitation. What'd you say?
I said disrespectful.
Yeah, so we already started to see that little behavior and it was just kind of like, are you sure y'all her friends? Like it was a little bit wild.
Just wait to get into it.
Yeah, like that was a little bit crazy. And so who did you think was the best dress
I
of the Becky's
am
party?
them enough to honestly say.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I liked Noelle's attire, but to me, it could still like it was very much like today. It was just cute. I don't know if it was like
Nobody, yeah, nobody
a
really
decade cute.
dressed up like decade, like, oh, we're having a costume party or we're having a theme party. That's why I can't honestly say anyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's not to be shady. It's just I just genuinely can't remember anyone enough to genuinely say, "Oh, this person like really fit the theme."
Yeah, I mean, I guess the closest would be Jordan because she actually had the whole dress and the whole, but
Yes, Jordan was the closest. Okay, I would give it to Jordan because she had the whole like,
hmm
and I didn't know who she was without her saying it, like, and what era she was supposed to be in. I knew.
exactly right.
So yeah, I forgot about her for a second, but yes, her.
hmm
I can see.
hmm So in the midst of that, Nick, because he cares about fashion so much, was so upset that he lost, and it's like, anyway. So in between that, they start playing a drinking game. As they start playing the drinking game, I believe it was Amir who pulled the card and or someone asked, I believe they were asking Amir or Nick,
Mm-hmm.
who would you say is the worst dressed? They started playing this drinking game. And so while they did this, Shanice went up into the kitchen. And then while she's in the kitchen, he said, Nick, the worst dressed, teasing him because he knew it would just be hilarious. Well,
Mm-hmm.
while they were doing that, Summer answers. And I'm not quite sure if the game was like everybody takes a turn or it's just that one person, but either way, Summer answers and goes, Shanice, she really can't dress. Um, and so when she comes back, they one like they tell her, oh yeah, they said you couldn't dress. She overheard them. And then we
Mm-hmm.
also see a moment where they were like, "Oh, working girl," and she was like, "What? Oh, you say I'm a work?" Like she didn't understand what working girl was, so that was kind of like, "Oh, okay," where the shots first started. And so
Mm-hmm.
then we have this situation. Um, I'm like, would you say something like that about your friends?
Absolutely not. Especially,
Yeah.
I don't want to skip ahead, but especially knowing their situation.
hmm
Like, if they confided me about something, I'm not gonna one go tell it in a way where it, you know, would keep people thinking. But two, my thing was after she said it, when Shanice came back, she didn't say anything. She just let everybody else kind of clown around what she said, and she was just like in the background.
Right. So you say it, then you act like you don't own it. I also am curious, like, would she have said it with Shanice there? Maybe because
I
you
don't.
know Yeah, and because it's very much giving that, like, yeah, very passive aggressive mean girl behavior. Um, and we know, or at least like people that have been watching from season one know that like Shanice has a difficult time speaking up for herself. We know that. Um, because when her situation with Nick, she like they had to pretty much be like, Shanice, you need to say something. Like you are clearly bothered. And it took everything in her to
Mhm.
actually do it. Um, it just so I also feel like Summer also knows that about Shanice and knows that like I can say this about anybody, but I can get away with it if I say it about Shanice because she's not gonna say nothing to me because they are friends. And so oop,
Mm.
oh, 1 second.
Mhm.
Sorry guys. It's the weirdest thing. My camera just goes out. So anyway, but so we get Shanice goes off, she's mad, and nobody goes and checks on her. Jordan and Preston are like, oh, she's so dramatic. So we start to kind of see that happen. And then
Mhm.
finally, Bria goes upstairs and goes and
Which
checks on her.
honestly surprised me.
And I'm not gonna lie. Out of all people, because I would have thought maybe Jasmine, which Jasmine noticed it, and I think if
Mm.
more time would have passed, would have probably went up there. But it
Mm.
still was just kind of like, okay. Bria goes up there, checks on her, she's boohoo crying. That's when she reveals, like, hey, I, just lost my job. I'm struggling financially. So I do what I can. It's a sacrifice to be here, and I didn't appreciate it being um being said, so Bria, because Bria is the queen of drama, tells her, well, you need to get down there, you need to let them know. Which this is the one time Bria is speaking the truth. Like, let her know.
One time. No,
Yeah.
but you
Like,
know what was really interesting that I saw? Shanice already knew who initially said it. Like she said, like who said it? Was it Summer? Because she knows my situation, and it's like
mm-hmm.
you knowing that, like one thing, because who two people went to check up on her. She's crying, knowing
Noella.
who
Yes,
it is.
Noella.
Knowing who it is. And Bria, one thing I will say, when they were downstairs, from what I saw, she didn't like play into what they were saying. From what
Mm-hmm.
I saw, what I remember. No, I could be mistaken. But from what I saw, what I remember, she didn't play into picking on Shanice in that um manner. Which
Yeah. Yeah, like Bria came up and then it was actually Noella who came to see if she was okay eventually. And they were like, yeah, you need to go talk to her. You need to go and let her know. So then when Shanice comes downstairs, Summer was
oh,
like,
oh,
hey, are
oh,
you mad at me?
before that, because remember,
Mhm.
no, okay, Noelle came upstairs, right? Noelle is someone who Summer invited.
Yes, which is
Someone who
it's a
doesn't,
very strange relationship with those two as well, though. Yeah, but yes, yes.
someone who Shanice doesn't really know that well. So, out of all the people downstairs who knows her, Bria came upstairs and Noelle came upstairs. And then while they were upstairs, Summer's downstairs saying, "What? She's crying? Why is she crying? It's true."
Yeah. So you know, like you have an inkling that your friend is upset and you hurt her feelings. And instead of you being like, let me go upstairs and let me apologize. Because if that wasn't your intentions, okay, let her know. But the fact
Mm,
that you kind of play into it, play into the hype, don't really care that you hurt your friend's feelings, it really opened my eyes to okay how Summer was, because you already had our mouth to the floor with that whole inside of me comment.
yeah.
It's now showing me okay, Summer has a mouth, like you are not a girl's girl whatsoever. And so that was pretty shocking to me. So when Shanice comes downstairs, Summer meets her. Are you mad at me? Okay, yeah, girl, I was just playing. Like she kind of downplayed the apology, at least to
Mm-hmm.
me. It did not feel genuine.
And like went to,
Yeah.
yeah, like hug her and stuff. She did to me
It
as
yeah,
well.
it did not feel genuine. So we fast forward to the morning, like Shanice is kind of she says, oh, okay, which I'm gonna need Shanice to work on. Okay. If something bothers
Oh
you,
my gosh.
do not bury it. Like, and do not act like it doesn't bother you. It
Because they
bothers you.
literally took shots right after that, and she was like, but I think from what I see, she uses that like big, like life of the party, like let's get drunk kind of facade to bury her feelings more than like she doesn't want to think about it kind of thing, which is honestly sad, but I could see if she doesn't like to talk about how she's feeling or she doesn't like confrontation, it looks like, then
Oh yeah. Yeah, because in that moment, she kind of bypassed Summer and tried to run until I believe Bria or Noelle were like, hey, you know you did hurt her feelings.
yeah.
And it's just like they shouldn't have to tell you, like, you know, your feelings were hurt. Say it. Like, they shouldn't have to force you to speak up for yourself. It's not okay. And people shouldn't
Mm,
disrespect you like that.
yeah.
Um, in the fact that like her apology really wasn't an apology, and you were like, it's fine, it's okay. And we'll pick up like a little bit later, but clearly it wasn't okay because you all had a whole conversation about it and
Mm,
where it had bothered you. So, and you still upset. So it's kind of like, yeah, Shanice, we're grown, we're adults. We also gotta like be, speak up, but also Summer, let's be a better friend here. So we get to the next morning and we they are really including now the truth booth. And so here we get more or additional confessionals from cast. And here we have Noella and Summer sharing a booth. And in this, Summer dumbles down and was like, I mean, I said it, I really have to think about it because it's true. I mean, she just wears basic clothes. Like, what do you mean? I said it. And Noella is just kind of there co-signing. How did you feel about that? What were your thoughts on Noella's positioning in this booth?
In the words of one of my all-time favorites, Bad Girls Club, they are some confessional gangsters. Like, they just literally none of that was said or expressed or portrayed in front of the topic of discussion. So why is it all like, I'm gonna say what I want to say, I said this, I said that nobody can say anything when the person's not in the room? Why?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so fake. And my thing
It
is you were saying something different the day
complete
before. And
complete
now, yeah, like, and now you're like, oh, yeah, ha ha ha, like sitting there. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, also, okay, I can kind of see why you guys are friends a little bit. Because it's
oh
kind of like you guys both uh are a little two-faced. I would say Summer more than Noelle, because I can at least say Noelle.
that's not her friend.
Right. And she did still come and check on her, someone who's not her
That's
friend.
yeah, that's also true.
So it's just kind, and then, but it was kind of like giving a little bit of like complicit behavior, but still, like, if it's wrong, stand on being wrong. Like, if you didn't feel or agree that it was okay, yeah, it kind of, but we'll see, we'll see. What else Noelle is going to bring? So, still, which we'll go back for a second, because that night while they were having the party, we did see a text exchange from Amir and his girlfriend. Now, episode 1, as you all saw, the girls were in a corner and already had kind of spoke on how they felt like his girlfriend was a very much a jealous type. And they got that vibe from her when they met her in a party, in person before filming. So now we're starting to see where this actually might be true in a trend, because he sent her like a random text about food, and then she just went from, oh, so that was meant for someone else. Who was that meant for? Why would you send that to me?
Wait,
And so
wild. Okay. Wild.
yeah, so he goes into the room and has like, why did you act that way? And she's like, no, it just felt like it was for someone else. What are you doing? Like, asking these questions. For me, I didn't like it. Like, and I didn't like it for a couple reasons. But I'm gonna not say all of them. But I feel like
No.
how her character is, dang, no, I'm like, do I need my shades or not? Because I'm like, it's not really shady, but you're gonna, like, you're lying if you say you did not know Amir was on the show season 1. You would be lying. And I don't believe that you had no idea about this show. Because of the fact that, like, you freak out over something this simple. You're always texting him, asking him what's going on. You are probably an FBI investigator, and you know exactly who's coming to the trip, and that's like, like, you did your research. So if there's a lie that you don't know nothing about this show, I don't believe it. But the fact that you probably know about this show, why are you acting this way? You knew he was on this show when y'all weren't together. He's here doing a job. Why are you acting this way? So threatened by all of these girls here, like, because he honestly could have had them last season, because he's been on the show. Like, so why are we acting brand new? Like, you don't get it, you don't see it, girl. Like you know who you're with. You know that. And so is it really a matter of because Jordan is still there and you know that is threatening? I'm curious to see what that looks like because I do believe she will be joining
And
towards the
I
end of the summer. Yeah, because I want to see her. I want to see that. And it's, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm adding fuel to the fire. I don't care. I thought Jordan and Amir would have made a cute couple. I just feel like,
oh yeah.
just based on what I saw, Jordan needed to do some more healing. And Amir seems like the guy that he's ready to settle down. He's ready to, you know, move to the next stage. I just feel like Jordan still need to. She's not ready for that, quite yet. So I think they could have been a cute couple. I still think they can. But it was just like, girl, you know this man was on TV. You know he was coming here. What you tripping for? Like, it's just, it's already rubbing me the wrong way. It's kind of already given I don't vibe with her or like her. Um, just being honest. So in the midst of that, he mentions Nick, and in that conversation, we find out Nick and Tasia are still together.
Yeah. Which I do believe. Oh, that could have been after, but I do believe he was on the phone with her during the episode.
With Amir. Yeah, Amir was on the phone with Natalie.
Nick was on the phone with
I
someone.
think Nick did eventually call her. But
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, Tasia, look, let me, girl, why? Like you are amazing. We all loved you. Why? Why? Because on TV you saw that this man was not acting like he was in a relationship. So either y'all have an understanding or what? I'm confused because last year, Drea, she was too good for that man. We're just gonna put it out here, okay? She was too doggone good for that man. Why? So to find out that they're still together is wild. And someone needs to tell the truth because it's not in the room. Like, okay, like somebody needs to tell the truth. This is not it. I will say now we've learned that there are most of the cast is like in relationships. I hope from that perspective that it doesn't get boring because so many people, like Preston's in a relationship, Amir's in a relationship, Jasmine is married. Like they didn't really add new guys to the cast so far. It's kind of like Nick was technically in a relationship, but we don't care if he wasn't. Like, I just hope that like the storyline doesn't get stale, at least because it's like, dang, everybody in a relationship, like, ain't y'all supposed to be all a group of singles in a house? I don't know.
I think with the amount of drama that is just coming from two people, I don't think it'll get stale.
That is true.
Two main sources.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get stale.
Yeah.
Because the way it's going, I know this is just climbing. It's not the tip. Not the tip of the iceberg yet. So
that is true. And you know, yeah, we'll get into a little bit of what the preview was for next week. But so back to the following day, we get a scene where Jordan is having a conversation with her dad, which it seems like they have a really great relationship, which is really beautiful to see. She then shares that she suffers from alopecia because she went to a shoot and they required her to give a perm. Jordan, go ahead and drop who that company was. We just want to see something.
But she also did say it ran in the family, like it was hereditary.
Yes. But who asked you at a job to give yourself a perm?
They do that.
That's crazy.
It's insane, but they do that.
especially in a world of wigs.
Yes, they do that. Yeah.
That is so like you have to pay me damages or something. Like that's crazy. Like that's wild to ask somebody, "Oh yeah, no, I want you to chemically alter your hair."
Right now.
So she talks about that. She's now doing a hair deal. I did like this scene because we do get a chance, an opportunity to see Jordan open up a little bit more about her personal story,
Mm,
and so that was really good to be able, to get more insight on and get to know her a little bit more. Um
it was very personal.
yeah, it was very personable, and I appreciate them doing that because last week
Mm,
we got Preston's, now we're getting hers. So I'm excited to see what's coming out with that.
mm,
Um, so then we get to in the morning time, they're getting ready, they're getting dressed, and Summer comes in Shanice's room and I think doubles down on her joke again because she was asking Shanice for a jacket and she says, "Oh, so oh yeah, I'm asking the worst dress." She just, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, then what we do is we then have a split off between groups. So we have Noella, Bria, Amir, and Jasmine do a workout. Then we have
mm.
Preston, Jordan, and Summer go to brunch. What team? Whose group would you
I
go
was just
with?
about to ask you. Brunch.
Yeah, this is the
And
way I'm going.
if I'm being honest, we had just drank the night before, had a themed party. There was some drama. There was some drama. Then there was more alcohol. I'm not going to the gym. Like,
At all.
I'm not going to the gym. I'm not sorry. No. Like, I
No.
French toast. And then
Brunch. Like, we're
and
going to brunch.
mimosas. Like, I don't.
Let's be so for real. Work out? Excuse
We're,
me? And I like to work out, but no. So I would be with Preston in them. But so we see them split off. And so in the car, we then see another conversation where Summer and Jordan are talking about Nick and his hands and him being handsy. And they then show the different times where, he was didn't have boundaries. And so they say, like they don't think it's with bad intentions, but
mm,
like it's just disrespectful. We're friends and you have a girlfriend. So
mm,
they agree that like they're going to bring it to his attention. And I do appreciate Preston in this moment because I do feel like
yeah,
a lot of men won't check or won't be like, yeah, this is getting out of hand, we need to address it. A lot of, some men just allow the behavior to continue and aren't stepping up for their sister.
yeah.
So
Remain
shout out to
composed.
Preston for that.
And he actually
Mhm.
led that conversation too to make sure like what he saw he wasn't reading wrong. Like
Mhm.
he obviously visibly saw them uncomfortable at a point in time and he decided if it's just me and y'all two, let me ask you about it. Which
Mhm.
also is a huge thing to do because a lot of people would just hey they ain't say nothing to me, I'm not gonna say nothing to them.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I also commend him on one leading that conversation and two saying like okay since y'all are uncomfortable we need to put a stop to it. Like
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. So while this is happening, they go we kind of are switching back and forth. So at the workout session,
mm,
which actually let's stay
this,
with brunch. Let's stay with brunch for a second and then we'll hop to the gym session.
okay.
Here at brunch, they are again recapping on what happened the following night. Jordan
Mm,
feels like Shanice was being dramatic. And then she Summer really
Was
doesn't
just like,
really,
yeah.
and at this point we know what Summer does. So then Jordan finally asks the question we've all been wanting to know, like, hey girl, why were you so like, you seemed like you were a little bit like really pressed at the fact that Alex did not invite you to his event. Are
Mm-hmm.
there more feelings? Like, do you really have more feelings there? Summer then goes into like, no, I knew what it was. We were just having a good time, girl. And pretty much was trying to sell us a lie. And it's like, you ain't got to do that, friend.
Because you don't believe you.
Like, we literally, nobody believes you. Like, you cut up so bad, you expect us to believe that?
And
How?
crickets at the table.
Yeah.
Because and that's one thing about people, like just in general, people don't understand. Like if you truly don't care about something, you're not gonna mention it. You don't care
Correct.
about somebody, a situation, you're not gonna be the one to bring it up.
And she constantly brought it up, like constantly, like, um,
Constantly throughout the whole episode.
and
Like you
it's
don't
just
even
like,
have to watch episode one to know what happened between them two, because you're gonna hear about 50, 11 times.
yeah, it's just like it's embarrassing. Like, girl, you a grown girl, like, and then like, don't sit here and play like you didn't like that man. You did. Like, we all saw you at the end of season 1. You did like him and y'all were kind of cute, but we also knew who Alex was. So we were just like, good luck.
Yeah.
But I just think, yeah, don't play. Don't play with us. Like, don't
And
play.
it's also great to mention again, Alex knew who Alex was, and Alex made sure she knew what it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah. And so Preston asked, you know, well, how was Alex in bed? This girl gonna then double down. Um, he was a good kisser, a good cuddler. We had fun. It wasn't passionate. It wasn't there. Girl, it's no way you acting this way. Like,
I-
lies. Complete and utter lies. Don't play with us. Like, girl.
Because if that was the case, nobody would have known. Nobody would have known.
Like, you are full of it. You are complete. Like, no way, girl. It wasn't even believable. My face would have been so bad. I would have looked at her and been like, are you sure? Because
Like,
there's no way you are this heated, this mad, and he wasn't. Come on, girl. Who you fooling? Who you fooling? Um, so, and you can kind of see that in Preston and Jordan's face. They were kind of like, okay.
definitely trusted. He was like, "Oh, you fool!" And like,
Okay, girl. Like, don't play with us like that. That is not cute to me. Like, that is not cute. Don't act like that. Just be real. Just be honest. Like, yeah, I had feelings for him and I made it more than what it was. But we know what it is, so we move forward. I would have at least respected that, but don't play. Please don't
mm,
play.
yeah.
Whew. And so then when production asked in their confessionals, Summer blabs, like she does the same thing. It went nothing. It was nothing. It was okay. And what did Alex say? He didn't answer.
Nothing. He didn't say any, and that's the biggest thing. Not only respect for the other person, but respect for yourself. Like
Yeah.
you saying all of this, like you're saying one thing, but your face, your body language, like your the way you answer questions,
Mhm.
your it like said a completely different thing. So it was like if Like you have to be nope, because like, she doesn't have self awareness. So I'ma just stop talking.
That's very true. Like, yeah.
That's the biggest self awareness would tell you not to open your mouth to say nothing. If you're gonna act like this,
Yeah, and I mean, we saw her not having self-awareness even when it came to saying it was Shanice. Like,
mhm.
you knew, like, what you said was wrong, but you were just like, "Oh, she's mad." You knew someone would probably find it weird that you took a picture of them, like, and then you didn't also know how it would sound by being mad that you weren't invited to an event. Like, there's
but
no lack of
but
self-awareness
the
here.
is expressed that like they also either weren't invited personally, or two, like they just it's what it was. Like he just had an event. If you knew about it, you could have came. If you didn't, you didn't. It's fine. Like it's not a big deal.
So yeah, it's just it's just like, girl, it just really showed. And my thing is, okay, we don't have to all like Alex either, because we're definitely not giving Alex a pass here. Like,
Oh,
he is absolutely
yep.
he is definitely a player. He definitely, like, he does that. But at least he keep his business to himself, or he want to keep it to himself. And like, at least it's
One.
like grown behavior. I do what I do and I keep it moving. Like, come on. So at the same time, or while they're there at brunch, then we move over to the gym. So they're doing the workout. And then they then have a conversation where they like reflect on the situation. And this is where Shanice is going in about how she feels. And I was like, yeah, I wish you had this volume when Summer was here.
The same. They deserve each other.
Yeah. So she she lets them know that it was, how she felt about it. And then out of this conversation, it comes out that, Summer and Alex was like, he didn't appreciate that Summer was bringing up their business and what happened that with what happened over in New York. And
Mhm.
so Noelle like hears that like they slept together. And so Noelle was like, wait, what? They were like, yeah, like, you didn't hear her comment, everybody's mouth drop. How did you not hear it? But I guess Noelle was too busy cracking them crab legs because
She was not paying no attention. Like she was there for a time, not a long time. She wanted to eat.
yes, it was so funny. Like, she was trying to eat. But she was like, wow, that is not what Summer told me at all. Summer, I told her that Alex was my type. And she was like, yeah, we were just cool. It was, we just whatever. I mean, we were just cool, but go for it. Like, she gave her the green light. She downplayed what was really going on with their relationship. So we fast forward to later.
Before we fast forward,
Mhm.
can we just mention, like, don't you think that's the reason it was said to begin with? Not only just possibly how she felt about it, like having possibly, nah, having more feelings for him than like she's trying to let on, but also knowing that this new girl came in the house, is meeting him, and she says, like, he's her type. Like, let me just slip this in here so people know, like, even though, like, he's not my man, I'ma just let y'all know that he's off limits. Like, I already had that one kind of thing is what it was giving to me when I finally like heard like they had a prior conversation that Alex is her type. I was like,
Mm, yeah, exactly. It yeah. It definitely, again, back to that lack of self-awareness or being honest. Like, if your friend is telling you, hey, I'm interested in him, why would you not tell her we slept together? I just don't get that. So Noelle confronts Summer about it, and she's like, hey, like, I just found out like it was a lot more than what you told me. And if that was the case, like, I don't do that. And Summer was like, oh. I don't care. That's why I didn't really tell you, but then goes into the truth booth. Well, if somebody says that if they're talking or hanging out, you should know what that means. So why would you even come and expect, like, act so surprised? Like, everybody knows what that means. And although if I hear that, oh yeah, we hang out, I'm not gonna lie, my brain does go to what does hanging out mean. Like, I'm gonna automatically assume.
But you know what? Just based on like her, like just seeing from this episode her language and how she like
Mhm.
expresses herself, I feel like she probably didn't say it in a way that was like readable. I'm
No.
actually
Mm-mm.
almost positive she didn't say it in a way that was readable. Because she
Yeah.
just said it like, oh yeah, me and Preston hang out. Who's gonna think that her and Preston are doing anything? Like she probably said it in that way that's just like, okay, y'all are friends. All right.
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe that Summer was clear. I think she,
Clear as
yeah,
mud.
huh?
Clear as mud.
Exactly. I just find that extremely hard to believe. Um, it, I just don't believe it. Because again, Noelle really thought you were giving her the okay.
Yeah.
So that means you really had to sell a totally different story to her to make her think like, oh, all right, cool, no problem.
Mm.
So I'm just like, yeah, this lack of awareness is crazy. Like, in just the not being honest, like, so that's going to be interesting because it already was a weird or different dynamic between the two, because it's like they met, they're newer friends, but it was
Mm.
just still kind of, interesting. So we're going to see how that rolls out. Um so then we get to where Amir, I believe it was Amir, Preston, and Nick are sitting in the living room, and Amir brings up his concern with Natalie, which
Mm.
leads to the conversation, like, where he's like, I'm trying to respect her boundaries because we are in a relationship, and I don't. First of all, he keeps throwing that she's gonna, like, he's gonna hurt him and threaten him.
Yeah,
That
which
ain't cute. That's gonna get old real fast.
and
But
it
okay.
started to. It really
Yeah.
at first I was like, oh, he's just playing around, but the more he said it, I'm like, oh, he not joking.
Yeah, like, that's not a good thing, sir. Like, you're with someone. Okay. But anyway, and that conversation leads to them being like, well, Nick, you're still in a relationship with Tasia. Like, how do like, how do you guys do it? And he's like, we have an understanding. She knows me, she knows what I do, and like, she knows pretty much my personality. She's not worried.
Mm.
So this opens the door to Preston being like, well, no, some of the girls are saying that you're Preston, or Summer, and Jordan specifically, are saying that you're a little bit handsy, and it's kind of making them a little bit uncomfortable. So I just feel like, because you have a girlfriend, this ain't it. This is not the behavior
Mm-hmm.
that you really should be presenting, because you have a girlfriend. Like, this. And if you really don't like Tasia, which is what we get, the vibes we get clearly,
Mm-hmm.
break up with her. Like, this is
Yeah,
weird.
don't on.
So the fact that, like, Nick's kind of freaks out, and he goes
He
upstairs.
was completely blindsided about it, which really threw me off guard because I was like, how did you not know? It's that self awareness, bro. Like,
Like, did you not watch season 1, Nick? I'm okay. And okay. So Nick goes upstairs, and he's kind of like standing over their beds, like, did that make you feel uncomfortable?
which the way he went about it, like, instead of saying, like, hey, can you guys come out and talk to me for a minute, but to like pace back and forth in front of their bed, and they're both looking like, what is he doing? Do I make you uncomfortable?
I was just like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it was wild. Um,
very much so.
So that's where the episode left off. I believe they were also getting ready to have another party because, and this is something I forgot, which I feel like is going to be important and does represent a lot about how the girls really feel about Amir's girlfriend. They did like a blow up sex doll, and they were like, "Oh, Amira, this is your girlfriend." I caught that. I don't know if anyone else caught it, but I was just kind of like,
I
what?
did. Oh yeah, because I was like, what possessed y'all to say something like that?
Yeah, so we will see. I very much am waiting to see how Amir's girlfriend is going to interact with these girls, and I'm so surprised they are still together. Um because it seems very toxic, but whatever, to each his own. But next week we will see what happens when Nick asks Summer and Jordan how they feel. I think it is about, which honestly, in season 1 it was mentioned how they were, how inappropriate, or how Jordan felt like some of them were being inappropriate towards her. So I don't know why he acted so much of a blindside, but either way, we'll see next week. In the preview, we did see that Jasmine mentions Mariah and her other guy friend, who, from those who watched season 1, her other guy friend was chaotic, but also you actually might need him because we need somebody to come shake it up. She mentions, can either one of them come back? And fan favorites, we like Mariah. We felt like Mariah was done wrong because of the situation with Bria. So I'm interested to see if we're gonna get that surprise, because we did not see it in the preview. And we also didn't see that there is gonna be a new guy show up, which I'm like, thank
Show.
God. Because we need to shake this up. So I'm very interested to see what next week is gonna be like. So far, Martha's Vineyard, they're
I am
keeping my
locked in.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my friend locked in. Y'all don't understand. I have been a part of the Bravo universe for years, and I finally got my friend to clock in. I like to tap in. I feel so accomplished.
I'm locked in. I didn't know Brett was doing it like this.
Yes. So yeah, overall, thoughts, I guess, on really, really seeing the show really for the first time, Drea.
Yes, really for the first time, through my own eyes and ears. And it was just a lot to take in, because even from what I have heard previously, because I don't know if y'all know, Lauren tells extensive summaries, blurbs, whatever. Like literally, like I promise you miss one Marvel movie, if it needs to be known for the other Marvel movies, you will have that whole movie, show, whatever it is, so down packed, you're not missing anything. Like, you know all the references, you know everything. So it's the same with this show. Like, every time season 1 finished airing, I had voice messages like back to back to back to back on my phone. I knew everything that was happening, and still nothing could prepare me for the way these personalities switched.
Yeah.
Because Summer, from the descriptions of season 1, loved her. Loved her. I don't not love her for this season. It's just I'm not really a fan like of her, the way she's portrayed herself this season, which is so disappointing in the sense, like, she's so pretty, she was so lovable for the first season, and then this season it's like Truth Bruce Warrior. Like, it's just and then another being done. So it kind of really threw me off in that sense. And general drama wise, it got my attention. Like, I was locked in the whole time. So I just feel like it'll be interesting to see how everyone's personalities, um, their true colors, their personalities show more through this season, because it seems like we're getting to know more sides of each person.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it could be the thing of like editing and whatnot, but even still, some of the things like you just didn't think would happen, be said, be mentioned, be expressed, not being expressed, like just all of that happened in just episode 2. So I was just very like, well, and I'm excited to see how this progresses, especially that conversation with Nick Jordan and Summer. I would love to see the outcome of that conversation, like if it's gonna actually make a change, like the reactions from this conversation, how Shanice, if she decides to, let me not say it like that, if she decides to start expressing herself when something is bothering her, because obviously the way it's going, it's not going to be good if she keeps bottling up, bottling up, bottling up, and letting it out around the people who don't really need to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing. Like, she needs to be able to express herself to the people that actually need to hear it. Like, not just when everything's said and done, everything can be calm. Like, let it out. But it seems like a lot of them have that side conversations without the people who actually need to be there for those conversations.
Yeah, very catty, very much so.
Mm. And Noelle and Summer aren't going to be friends for long.
Yeah, I can see that coming very fast. Like it's coming. It's yeah, it's coming. Like that's writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I mean, yep, season 2 is coming out with the banger. It's growing. And so I'm really excited to see what's forthcoming. So yeah, that was the Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, season 2, episode 2 recap. Thank you so much, Drea, for joining me. Thank
Thank
you guys and everyone for tuning in, whether you're watching it live or watching it later. Please, please, please subscribe to our channel because we will be continuing to do weekly recaps and getting into the nuances of the show. So definitely be joining us and come back. And a new episode 2 of The Lion's Den, will be dropping this Thursday. So please look out for that. And that is The Lion's Den After Dark. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.